What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. And I hope that you're ready for a very special show. Today, the Level 1 podcast is a little different. Today, it is not just me talking to the audience about gaming and topics and news, but we will have a guest. For the first time in, 7 months, I think, which will be pretty awesome. And it's someone who people have wanted on the show for many, many years. People have wanted me to have a conversation with this man, to play games with this guy. And finally today, it's happening. In fact, it's happening probably within the hour. All right? So, this should be a great one. No intro today, because here's how this is going to work. Today is a very different kind of show. All right? This first segment is the hangout segment. We're just going to hang out for like 45 minutes. We're going to talk about whatever topics you guys want to talk about. Get it out of the way. We're going to talk about, obviously, the appearance of Wings of Redemption on this show in just a little bit. Things you guys want to get out in the air, questions that you want me to ask him, etc. That's the whole point of this first hangout session before we begin with the interview. All right? Then, around noon Pacific time, about 40 minutes from now, we're going to take a brief break where I change the setup over so it'll work with Discord, get my headphones on, get everything, working. And then we're going to get Wings on the show. Now, during the time frame when Wings of Redemption is on the podcast, there will be no pop-up messages, no leaderboard, no chat distractions. It's just going to be me and him having a conversation. We'll see how it goes. I told him, hey, it could be as short as a half an hour, as long as 2 hours. Let's see how it goes, right? If the conversation is great, let's have a long one. If not, we could have a short one. Let's actually see what happens. I have no idea how this is going to go, quite frankly. I think it could go many different ways. So I'm excited for that. Then after the interview with Wings, which will end at the latest probably around 2 p.m. Pacific time, then we're going to do a brief break, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to do a decompression session. What we'll do is we will talk all about what just happened in the appearance. What did you guys like? What didn't you like? What topics were good? Did you learn something? Are you interested in seeing more? Maybe you hated it. You never want to see it again. And during that time frame, I'll be taking questions, but also shout outs for contributions. I want to make it abundantly clear. I am not going to be doing any shout outs whatsoever for contributions during the actual interview. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not grateful. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get attention and credit for your contribution, but I just want to be upfront about that. When Wings is on the show, we're going to give him our undivided attention because he's giving us his time. That's called respect, okay? I'm happy and grateful that he's giving us his time for this after so many years of people asking me to do this collab. So let's be nice and give him our undivided attention. And then after the interview, then we'll get caught up on all of it. All right. And that's the whole stream. Like, this is my entire day stream today, is just the Wings of Redemption appearance. Okay. There will be gameplay tonight on the late stream. It'll be American Truck Simulator. We get back to regularly scheduled streaming tomorrow with gaming with Pokemon Legends ZA and Ninja Gaiden 4. Okay. Cool. All right. We already had a contribution, but what was it? I missed it. It was 500 kicks. Let's see here. Let me find it. Because I will do shout-outs right now, of course, until Wings comes on. It was 500 kicks from Be More Righteous. So excited for the legendary collab. Thank you, Be More Righteous. I appreciate that. By the way, my nasal drip is bothering me today, but I'm hoping that it will clear up and dry up in the next 45 minutes. It would suck if it keeps bothering me during the interview, so let's see what happens. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Already we have excellent attendance everywhere, both on Kick and on YouTube. How is everyone this morning? Welcome. Today, it's going to be very hard to do shout-outs for everyone's name, but I'll try. We got Brian, Chop Suey, Blade, I'm Resolution, Mario, Jose, Banana Jose, Chris. I can't even read that name. Juan, Original Grant, your local SpongeBob fanboy, Yak Almighty's here. Hashtag Fluffy. How y'all doing this morning? Over on Kick, we got Cranial Damage and Eddie Chill, Mojito Kitty, Blizzard, Doom Tory. We got 220. Ethan Ralph's wonky eye. Jeez, poor guy. Very good. Your Future Stepdad gifted a sub, our first sub of the day. Thank you to Your Future Stepdad for that. Again, there will be no pop-ups, and there will be no leaderboard when Wings is on the show. But I will absolutely read out all of your contributions after the fact during the decompression session. And then we had 220 also gifted a sub. Thank you, guys. Okay. Some people seem pretty hyped for the interview. Others are skeptical. I'm optimistic, but at the same time, it's like I've told you guys. This is something you've asked for years. Like as 5+ years ago. People were saying things like, Phil, would you ever play a game at Wings of Redemption? Phil, would you have an interview at Wings of Redemption? Would you hang out with Wings of Redemption? And I would always ask why. And they're like, well, he has a lot of things in common with you. He's a longtime YouTuber. He's a lolcow that gets harassed on the internet. He, has this going on, that going on. And I'll always be like, all right, whatever. And then sometimes I would reach out, and sometimes, I wouldn't hear back. There were a couple of ideas that to have there of collabs. They never came to fruition or anything. So finally, to have this happen today is pretty momentous. It's been a long time coming, if you really think about it. And I'm happy it's happening. I just hope that it turns out well and it ends up being entertaining for everyone. Like, I hope that Wings has a good time. I hope I have a good time, and I hope that all of you have a good time. I don't want it to be boring as dirt. At the same time, I don't want it to be something that ends up being like contentious and, now we hate each other and shit like that. I've literally never talked to this guy. You know that, right? Like, all I've done is chat with him back and forth to DMs. That's it. I've never said a word to him, and he's never said a word to me. So this will be our first back and forth interaction. Like when worlds collide, right? Thomas Andreas with a 50 sec super chat says, good evening from Sweden. Thank you so much, Thomas. Let me see what that is, because I have no idea what the currency conversion is for sex right now. For sex? Sex is high on the dollar right now, I heard. Let's see. That is, let's see here. It was 50. So it is $5.33. Thank you to Thomas for $5.33. That's our first super chat of the day, actually. This is a weird font. It's a Halloween font, but man, it looks bizarre, doesn't it? A little hard to read because it got all these weird like pumpkins and stuff, candles and pumpkins in the font. Okay. I have received a generous contribution, a $20 tip. This is the collab of the century. This person says, the collab of the century. Wow. Well, thank you. I mean, it only took about 5 years of work to make this happen finally. Let me tell you, it was no easy task to make this come together. I've been trying and trying and trying to make this happen. And my patience wore very thin, and I gave up for a while, and I came back and tried again, It wasn't easy, but hopefully it was worth all the effort. Seriously, I hope that today is worth all the effort and all the anticipation. We've got Soul at 2 a.m. with a $5 super chat. What if it goes